Hello and welcome to the PhoxTales podcast, the only podcast that you're not allowed to listen to while you're on the bus. So if you got on the bus and you're listening to this, pause it right now or you're gonna crash and die.
I think that's a pretty good tagline.
Yeah. I mean, not for like every episode, but it's nice to remind people that like, if you're listening to this, no buses, Uber, okay? It's called Uber. Stupid.
Walk. Get on your fucking bike.
Roll your wheelchair down the hill. Just don't get on the bus.
Buses are for gross people.
Anyways, to start off, I would like to do a little public service announcement because, I just learned this recently and I feel like it should be much more common knowledge about the cats and the lilies.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good...
Like, if you...
I was like, I want to go on the record that I do not know what this... Before he said, I did not know he was going to make an announcement, so I was very skeptical, but I support it now that I know.
So, if you don't know, if you have a cat, well, I mean, whether or not you have a cat, cats are very deadly allergic to lilies, the flowers, the plants. Like, if they touch them or like eat one, or if they rub up against one and then lick their fur later, like, it can kill them. It takes very little bit of the flower or the pollen to harm them. It's crazy because like everyone knows like dogs and like chocolate and dogs and grapes, but cats and lilies, it seems like it's even worse than those dog examples. But
it is. So
I had never heard of this before.
Don't buy people lilies if they have cats, and if you have a cat, don't buy lilies, because you will kill your animal. And it will suck.
Don't buy lilies. Don't grow lilies. Just it's cat poison. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, that should be way more common.
Exactly. Man, that's some scary, scary, scary stuff.
Well, that was all I had for this podcast. Just 2 minutes in.
2 minutes in.
And nothing
episode over.
Podcast over. That was
Podcast over.
I said everything I wanted to say in the last episode and these 2 minutes.
So I said we were gonna finish Undertale, but we didn't. We didn't finish it. We played more of it, and we'll probably finish it the next time. I am going to say we are, and then
and then we're see.
Not going to, and then I'll tell you. But I still enjoy it. I like the Skeleton Bros. They're goofy.
They are goofy.
And I am very good at doing voices. It's very fun.
You are very good. We'll have to record ourselves playing some games sometime so everyone can hear your wonderful voice acting.
Yeah, I agree.
And more importantly, they can hear my wonderful voice acting.
Yeah, more importantly.
Okay, just as importantly. More importantly. Because they can hear that and you couldn't.
Yeah. Well, another game that I'm super excited for is Animal Crossing.
Ooh, yeah, it comes out, I think, on the 20th?
Yeah.
It's the
this
3rd
month.
As of recording this.
I've never played any Animal Crossing games, because I don't know, the characters, they seem very childish looking to me. I didn't know anything about the game, but now I do, and loving games like Stardew Valley. I feel like...
You also like The Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like simulator games. So, I'm excited to play it, and I'll let you know if I like it or not. If I hate it, then Tyler's out of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm out of the podcast.
Yeah, if I hate it, Tyler's out of the podcast.
Yeah, out of the fucking podcast. Do you see the Animal Crossing Switch that they announced?
Yes, the little Joy-Cons look so cute, and I wish I didn't have a Switch, but I love my Switch so much, and if I didn't have it, I would...
That's the Switch
I would
you
cry.
Get. I mean, released that one 2 years into the Switch's life cycle.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, I'm glad I have my Switch, because if I didn't have it, I would cry and die at the same time. But also, I really like the Joy-Cons, and I want them, because they're cute, and they're pastel, and I feel like I need them, and someone should give them to me.
Yeah, Nintendo likes to do that thing where, like, when you adopt something early, they kind of come out with a better version of it later, but it's not something that you need, like, a second
and
one.
every company of all time.
Yeah, Nintendo's been doing it.
Apple.
A lot.
They all like to do it.
Well, those companies, they just kind of release the same thing every year, but slightly different. But, like, with the game console, it's just like, hey, especially, like, with the Pokemon games, Pokemon Sun and Moon, then a year later, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. It's just the better versions. Full price again, though.
Just talking about Pokemon will just make me angry because I love it so much. I love it so much, but also I hate it. I hate it so much. This last Pokemon game has, like, I feel like something spectacular is really going to have to come from Pokemon to get my love back because it was so disappointing. And it was so disappointing because it had so much potential in so many really areas. Did. Like, there were so many things that I loved about it. Like, I think the wild area was pretty cool, but it was just too small. Like, it needed to be expanded. And just the idea of not having all of the Pokemon from the get-go. And now they're releasing some of those Pokemon. Like, Squirtle and Bulbasaur are getting released.
Yeah, they're coming out soon.
I think that's crazy that they weren't there from the beginning, but you had Charmander. It's very, very weird. And if you go into, like, all of the houses, they're, like, just cookie cutter. Like, they're exactly the same. There's, like, very little dialogue, nothing substantial. And then, like, if you go play the old original Pokemon games, there's, like, story, and there's, like, little quests in between, and there's, like, in this Pokemon game, there's not even, like, you don't even know what you're fighting from the beginning. You're just, like...
You're just trying to become the champion.
You're just trying to become the champion, and even your dialogue with those characters is not... It's the exact same conversation every time you interact with them. Leon has a Charizard. He's the champion. He's bad with directions.
Like, it's the same.
It's the same 3 lines. Did you know that Leon is a champion?
What?
And he's bad with directions?
No.
Guess what?
It's news to me.
He has a Charizard. Every time you talk about Leon, like, those 3 things, it's so solidified in your mind that you're going to know Leon like the back of your hand.
Yeah, every time you see Leon, a character is like, Leon, how'd you get here? You're so bad with directions. It's like, we fucking get it. He's bad with directions. Move on. Something else, please.
And he has such a goofy costume. It's very, very weird. I don't know. Because all the other Pokemon games, there's story, like a main story arc, and then there's, like, also at least one smaller story within. And this one, there's no small story, and there's only, like, half of a big story. So it's just weird because on top of that, it's $60, which is more than any other Pokemon game that's ever come out, and it's less of the game. Like, I don't know. And when you start the game, it feels like it's going to be a really long game because it takes a really long time to get into it. But after you get to the first gym, like, everything past that is just, you're breezing through.
Yeah, like, the gyms get so lazy. Like, especially the last, 2 or 3? There's the one gym where it's literally just, it's the entire town, but it's one straight path, like, from left to right. So that's the whole gym and the town.
The last town is the laziest town because, it's both the gym and the town.
And
there's no puzzle.
There's nothing.
There's very little dialogue.
Fight trainers.
You're just fighting trainers. It's very, very lazy.
The actual last gym, the dragon one, is the absolute worst because they didn't even try. You're just in a single room, and then the gym leader comes out and he's like, hey, you just have to fight my 3 trainers, and then you can fight me, and then you fight them one at a time in the same room.
Wait, and were his like Pokemon like not even dragon type?
Once you fight him, I think he has like 4 Pokemon or something, and only 2 of them are like half dragon.
It's like his is the dragon gym, and only like a couple of them are dragon type.
Few of them are actually dragon.
There are so many dragon, like at this point in Pokemon history, there are so many dragon type Pokemon that they could choose from. And on top of that, they could have made new dragon Pokemon specifically for this gym and this gym leader because it's a new game.
It was the steel one.
It's
who turned into the building.
Yeah, so lazy. It's very disappointing.
The whole gym is nothing. He's just
why even bother making it a dragon gym if you're not going to use dragon type Pokemon?
There was nothing like in the late game. Like you beat there's no Elite Four. You just refight some of the gym leaders, which lazy. And then after that, you go on like a very short, very linear quest to catch the Pokemon on the box. Like the box are legendary Pokemon, and then that's it. There's literally no other post-game content until they announced, the expansions that, of course, you have to pay like $30 more for. Suddenly there's like new legendaries, new places to go, new quests. It's like, oh, that's where all the post-game content with. You want me to pay more money for it?
Already you're paying more for this game than you've ever paid for a Pokemon game, and now they want you to pay for more paid DLC to get the rest of the game essentially, because the first part of the game was incomplete. It's
feels so
very,
insulting.
very upsetting, especially like after playing games like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are like so long. There's so much content, and there's like 2 games, and the Pokemon fucking follow you.
Crazy that they still don't do
Why
that in new games.
Why did the Pokemon not follow you?
Like, they know people.
They
follow
did it in the Let's Go games, which were fun. Very easy and very hand-holdy, but still
it was a nice little nostalgia
fun
trip.
And way better than the current Pokemon game.
The current ones, they don't fucking follow you. Like, it's baffling because they know that everyone loves that, and like pretty much all the Pokemon have walking animations. Like, people have dug them out of the game, and they're not used for anything. They would only really be used for. Oh, I guess they're in the wild area now, and you can see them. So I guess they're used for that, so why not just, like, put them behind your character?
It already even exists in the game because...
Let them follow me. I don't understand.
It's such a little detail, and they refuse to let me have it, and it's very upsetting to me. That's all I want. I would give that game, like, a whole full rating higher. I haven't given it a rating, but if I did... I would give it a full rating higher, just if the Pokemon could follow me. Like, it's such a simple thing. Let me have it. Everyone wants it. Everyone wants it. Give it to me, Pokemon. Get it together.
Yeah, there's the new indie game. I think it's in its beta now. I think it's called Temtem or Tenten or something. It's basically like a Pokemon clone, but, they're Pokemon, they're creatures, they actually follow you, and I think it's an MMO. It's basically, they were like, hey, Pokemon's gonna keep fucking up and doing shitty. We can make our own Pokemon game. And they wear the inspiration on their sleeve. They don't try to pretend that they're, like, not a Pokemon clone. They're like, hey, this is basically Pokemon. And I'm really excited to try that out, but I might wait until it's, like, out of the beta. My problem is, like, I play a game while it's in, like, its early access state or something, and I see all there is to see, and I don't touch it again, and, like, years will go by, and people are like, oh, man, have you played this game? It's so great. And I was like, I saw all there was to see, even though now it's basically a different game. Happened to me with, like, Minecraft. I played so much of that in, like, its early state, and I know it's almost an entirely different game, but I just can't bring myself to play it again, because I feel like I got all there was to get out of it, even though it has to be incorrect.
I've never played Minecraft. I've never been interested. I don't like how it looks.
Wow,
if I don't like how something looks, I won't play it.
You have to look past the looks. It's a really fun game. It's really about freedom, because you can build whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like a sandbox.
Yeah, although now I think there might be quests and a story or something. See, back when I played it just threw you into it, and then you just collect shit and build. Like, it's fun. Now, I think it's kind of still that, but there's also a quest if you want to do it. I think, again, I haven't really played it in its current state, so I don't know.
Yes. I'll see one day. Maybe one day I'll pick it up. You never know. I'm not promising anything. Certainly not. But you never know. I do like making things. Like when I play Skyrim and you have all of the DLC and you have like the houses and stuff. I like to fully build my house. I like it to be upgraded. I like to have all the houses and all the furniture and basically be living the life of luxury.
Do you put different wives in all your houses?
Can you have multiple wives?
Mm-hmm. As long as they're in like different towns and they never meet each other, I'm pretty sure you can just marry as many people as you want. Because how are they gonna know? There's no telephones.
Well, like, you have to go to the chapel, and I don't think that the, like, people will marry you more than once. You might have to have, like, a mod for it.
I think they will. You just can't marry, like,
because I think you have
the
to,
vampire girl that you love so much.
Serana.
I think it's Serana. I don't know.
Serana.
I know there's mods that you can marry her, but she doesn't, like, have unique dialogue or anything, so it's stupid.
I would record the dialogue
You
myself.
would be her. We would contact the voice actress and be like, hey, can you send me some files of you saying I love you so much, honey, and good night, and then a little smoochy sound.
I really like the games where you get to have spouses.
Oh, I know. Didn't you in Stardew Valley marry like everyone?
Yeah, you can like upgrade. It's to get a special heart event, okay? It's not just, I didn't just do it for fun. Well, I did it for fun, but, like, there was also
didn't do it for fun. I fucking hated it.
Locked with it. Like, you can marry all of them. Well, you can, like, date all of them. Make all of them your boyfriends or girlfriends. You can only marry one. And then, once you're dating all of them, and you then get all of their, like, hearts completely up, you, like, trigger a heart event by going into one of the houses, and they all, like,
they all
get mad at you and, like, confront you, and I think they all, like, break up with you. I don't really remember, but it's pretty funny. And then, like, they're all mad at you for, like, a few days in the game. Like, they won't, like, have their normal dialogue with you. They'll, like, ignore you. It's pretty funny. It's, like, a nice little touch. And, yeah, so there was a reason. There's, like, an achievement, but those are the best games.
Does it get you anything to get that achievement?
You did it.
Oh, is that
isn't that, like, the achievement for any...
Well, some games, like, you get an achievement and it's, like, tied to an unlock in the game, like The Binding of Isaac.
Well, like, things don't, like... Stardew's not really like that. You just get, like, like, heart events. You get to see the, like, special, like, scene. It's like a cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty... They're cute. There's a bunch of different ones. I just, like... My goal is to, like, see all of the cutscenes when I play a game. The game.
Have you seen them all in Stardew Valley?
I have not seen all of them, no, but I think I've seen, like, a good chunk, because I've finished the community center. I've never done the way where instead of, like, completing all the bundles to do the community center, you just, like, can go to the JoJo Mart and, like, pay them, and then the community center never really gets, like, built, and the JoJo Mart, like, it's the bad way. The town doesn't like it when you do it, but you can do it that way. It's the easier way. It's better to do the bundles.
I've never played, so I have no idea.
Well, it's fun. It's a good game.
I mean, so it's cute. You keep saying.
If you like farming games, but you don't like those. So.
Not really, no.
It's good. I like it. It's got good times. Good character personalization, and you can make your farm different. And although I've not really played it, there is a co-op mode, which I've tried to convince you to play with me a couple of times.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
So, we could have a farm together, and we could each have different spouses.
Oh.
in the games. Or we can, like, I think you can marry each other. I don't know how the game works. You can, like, date each other, or you can, like, date the characters in the game.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, we can look into that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. We shook hands.
Yeah, we shook hands. I'm sure you could hear the
It's not really good for audio, but just so you know, a deal was struck. We're playing games.
I feel like the deal was we would look into it.
A deal was struck. We're gonna play games.
No, that wasn't part of it. No, I'm not shaking your hand because you obviously don't understand what the handshake means.
The deal was struck.
The deal wasn't struck. I can hear her. I can definitely hear her. I'm closer to her than the microphone is, so you can't really speak to them without speaking to me.
Moving on.
Just want to apologize if the audience can hear the birds in the background because they're very loud. We can hear them, but
it's like 1:30 in the morning, and they will not shut up. So I don't know if you can hear them or not. We'll find out post, but it is very annoying.
Yeah, this is not a time for birds to be out. Like, we can go out and we can, like, scare them off, but
honestly, I don't even know if we would be able to scare them off. Like, we'd have to make a pretty loud noise. Like, but they're gonna be out there.
There was one time I was trying to sleep. It was probably like 4 or 5 a.m. because, I like to stay up late. And there was just this one single bird. It was crazy loud. And it was chirping. It was right outside my window. And I legitimately could not fall asleep because of just how loud it was. I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. This bird, he just, like, lives here now. I remember, like, I got sick of it. Like, I was really tired. I wanted to sleep. And got a broom, I went outside, and I just started, like, smacking all the branches of all the nearby trees to scare it off. And, like, it stopped. I thought, okay, well, that worked, but it's probably gonna come back. Luckily, it didn't. I scared him off forever. So
you have really bad luck with birds. Like the bird that ate all of your fish.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that?
We're gonna talk about it. We're talking about it right now.
So outside my house, we have like a little koi pond, and we have fish. Used to be kois, but not really anymore. They were more goldfish. But the goldfish that we had in there, we've had for like 15 years, and they're like descendants of the original goldfish that were in there. Yeah, and they got big too. They were like originally little feeder fish, which, if you don't know, are like 10 cents, so like little minnows, and they're really small. But like, put them in a big enough pond, they can grow pretty big, and they were just the spawns of the original fish. They've been there forever. And then one day, this
was like probably like 6 months ago.
Yeah, probably about 6 months ago. I just hear like splashing around. Fish, they just splash. It's right outside my window. You can hear it. So it wasn't anything weird, but it did sound a little odd. Eventually I looked outside, and there was just this big ass bird, like a
crane.
Yeah, like
or an egret.
Huge bird that had no business being anywhere near where I live, because I don't like live right on the beach or anything. Like, don't live in a place where those kind of birds are super common. And I run outside, and he's like in the pond, and I shoo him away, and I notice all my fish are gone.
He just ate all of them.
He just sat there and snacked on all my fish.
They were pretty big too.
And my fish had nowhere to go. They were just trapped in the little pond, and I got there too late.
Basically, like, if you've heard of fish in a barrel, well, it's like fish in a koi pond.
That's exactly what it was.
They were just sitting ducks for that bird. He had the feast of his
life.
A
free meal of my family fish. That fucker.
Just bad. You just have bad bird luck.
And we've since put like a netting up around the koi pond. We've gotten more fish, but it's not the same.
They're not the 15-year-old fish.
Nope.
We have a lot of birds here, and as you can hear, potentially, it's mostly because my parents feed them constantly.
They feed them like every day. They're like your unofficial pet birds.
If you go outside around like 5 o'clock and they haven't been fed, they'll just be like 50 birds lining.
They know it's food time.
They're like, so are you gonna be the one? Are you gonna be the one to feed us? and it's usually not.
You should feed crows around here. We were just talking about this. If you feed crows for long enough, they'll eventually start bringing you little gifts, and they'll recognize you.
The crows, though, they don't really come into the backyard. It's mostly little sparrows and stuff like that.
I've seen a bunch of crows out in your front yard before, though.
Yeah, they're usually down the street. I don't know what it is. They just come and go as it is, but these birds, they're regulars. There's like a bunch of little sparrows, there's some bluebirds, and some doves. I
want to be friends with a bunch of crows.
I know
want them to bring me gifts because they just bring you little shiny objects. And like I was saying, I love the idea of a little crow just going about its day, seeing something shiny and being like, oh, I'll bring that for Tyler. He's my friend. Oh, I'll bring him this.
A bird buddy.
Mm-hmm. They bring you like
gifts.
Little keychains or like quarters or like just shiny things. It seems to be the things that they find.
I think they're pretty suspicious.
I think it's cool, and I would love it, but you have to consistently feed them like at the same time every single day so that they know when they will recognize you, because crows can recognize faces and shit.
Mm-hmm. Right. They're really smart, and that's what's so creepy about them.
That's what makes them amazing.
Amazingly creepy.
I've read like researchers who've done like experiments with crows and stuff and then released them back like into their habitat. When they start walking around, they have to like wear masks, or else the crows will recognize them. I think what they do is they wear the mask when they go to like capture or release crows, so that they can walk around freely like with their human face.
So they don't remember that they caught them.
Yeah, but if they walk out again with the mask, the crows will recognize them and they'll start like cawing and like alerting the other crows.
Like, it's the guy. He's the robber.
That's the guy. Don't let him get you. So what do you got there?
We're gonna play this game. I found it in the den, and we're like, this will be fun. We're just gonna do it. It's like conversation dice, and basically there's some blue dice in here, and then like there's a couple pink dice that we're not really gonna get into the pink dice. So basically these blue dice blocks, they just have different words on them, and we're gonna throw 3 of them. I think throw 3, and then we'll just like tell a story from our lives that like we think of based upon the words that we're given. I think we'll each do it once.
I'm pretty skeptical still on how well this is gonna go, but
we'll see.
Try it.
I think it'll be fun. So I'll make Tyler go first. Just pick out 3 of the
Alright, so it's a little cup here, and there has to be like 20 blue dice, and presumably they all say different things.
Different words,
so I'm just gonna pull out 6.
What are the words?
I got public figure, elder, and the system. Jesus.
Wow, they kind of go together a little.
I don't.
They don't have to necessarily like incorporate all the words. Just something that like stands out in your mind when you...
Let's see. Public figure, elder, and the system. I don't know. All I'm thinking about is just like all the older people in politics.
I know. Right now, honestly, it's like, okay, boomer. That's what it makes me think of.
I love the okay boomer meme.
I bet
so
you do.
Much. It's really funny.
It reminds me of like Leo from that 70s show for some reason because of the system part, I think.
I'm going to try again because I don't even know.
All right. So now we have animal, movement, and mentor. Animal, movement, and mentor.
Animal, movement, and mentor.
Could just be like one of the words, or...
Just kind of thinking. I used to work at PetSmart.
Mm-hmm.
And... It's really, I don't know the word animal. Like...
That's fine.
So I used to work at PetSmart, and one of the things I had to do there were people would buy the feeder crickets.
Yeah.
You know, like for whatever.
They're like iguanas
or
lizards or whatever.
One day, this like very hippie-ish dude comes in, and he's like, "What is this? Like, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, they're feeder crickets, and he asked me like to explain the concept. Like people buy them and then they feed them to their animals, like their food, and he like just was not having it.
He hated it.
He hated it, and he was like, "I want to buy all of them." I was like, "You want to buy all of them?" And we like had just got a shipment in the back, like of a bunch
like
of.
He thought he was gonna like save them.
He did save them.
Oh.
But I had to, count all these crickets so I could chart, because when we did get, I don't work there anymore. When we got a shipment of crickets, like, a bunch of them die. Like,
yeah.
So you can kind of ballpark it. Like I would take like so many and be like, oh, that's like 10, but I couldn't like charge him for how many like it said on the box, because like if it says like 500 crickets or something, I couldn't charge him 500 crickets, so I had to like stay in the back and just kind of count live crickets for what was probably like 45 minutes to an hour.
Wow.
I guess he released them at like a golf course or something. I didn't really hear the follow-up to that, but my understanding is he did leave and release them all somewhere. And we just didn't have any feeder crickets, because those were like our 2-week supply or something.
So what about just like, fuck those iguanas that need to be fed?
Yeah, they got to eat something else, I guess.
Just the crickets were more important to the man than.
Yep, he just was not into it. You wanna roll some dice?
I'm gonna roll some now. I'm gonna pick 3. Pick 3 dice box. Shake them up real good. Throw them in the box. So I got leader, inanimate object, and catalyst, which I feel like, what? Like, how am I supposed to make a story with those things?
You picked some bad dice.
I know. Like, the dice box. I'm gonna pick 3 new dice box. I'm gonna just get rid of these dice boxes.
Right, so for this actual game, like if you're actually playing it, do you make up a story?
No, it's honestly the real game. You can do whatever you want. You can tell a story, or you can share an insight, or it's just something that starts a discussion.
Okay, weird.
It's just supposed to get
like
the ball
catalyst?
rolling.
That's so weird.
I know. The leader, the catalyst, the inanimate object. So, friend, power, and choice. So, friend, power, choice. Man, I don't know. What I am going to say is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
If I could have
and why?
Any superpower, I think I would like the power of teleportation, like to just travel anywhere in the blink of an eye. I think it's really versatile. Mm-hmm. You can just do so much. I think that's what versatile means.
I agree. Like, mine has always been, like, because I love the show Heroes. Hiro Nakamura's power to bend time and space. It's like, he teleports.
That's two powers.
It's his ability. He bends time and space.
I think that's combining 2 powers.
It's 1 power.
It's 2 powers.
That's what he does.
It has the word "and" in it. We've had this discussion before.
You can the bend best
time,
ability.
Or you can bend space.
He bends time and space. He can time travel, and he can teleport.
See, that's 2 powers.
And he's the best.
You literally just took my teleportation power and then added time travel on top of it.
I'm sorry, I should have said my answer first, and yours would have been...
I still would have argued with you.
A lesser version of my ability, but it's in the show Heroes, so I count it. It's the best. Hiro Nakamura's. It does kill him, I'm pretty sure. It gives him, like, a brain tumor. That show, it goes downhill very fast because of, like, the writer's strike. When all those shows just all of a sudden got
all went
super
like,
shitty. And it was very disappointing, but it had a lot of potential, and it was a good show. I really like Hiro Nakamura's power to bend time and space. It's totally legit power.
No, that's like saying I want Superman's power. He has like 100 powers.
Okay, well, like, what about, like, Peter's power? The ability to, like, absorb other people's powers.
No, see, you would be the only one with powers, though, so you couldn't. You can have that power if you want, but no one else has powers.
No one will know.
In fact, you could have that power right now.
I do have that power right now.
Just you're the only one with superpowers.
That's why it would be, like, it's really cool in, like, X-Men with Rogue, because, yeah, she not only can take your powers, but also your life force. You know it exists because she will suck the life out of you if you don't have magic powers.
Yeah, I would say if you were playing the game where you're choosing one power,
it would have to be like Rogue.
Kind of a cop-out. Just like, I want all the powers. That's like if you have a genie and
my
he gives
power
you a wish,
would be
you
the
wish
ability
for 20 more wishes.
To kill Tyler with my mind. Dead. There we go. Out of the podcast. This is about me now and my ability to bend time and space.
It's 2 powers. I'm so mad. You can't. Okay, if you had to choose a different power, not Hiro Nakamura's power, what would your power be?
It's so hard. I guess, I mean, I've always liked... I don't want to say Rogue because I would so kill people. I know, well, because you said my one power doesn't
just
count.
Just choose like going invisible, like running super fast, stopping time.
I don't want to like go invisible because it would be so tempting to just spy on people, and
that's literally all you could do with that power.
I know, and it would just be an invasion of people's privacy. And
going invisible, stupid.
I would
not want to be spy on people with teleporting.
Like, flying would be cool because you're fucking flying, but also, what about airplanes and helicopters?
And geese.
And just, like, people with guns. I'm not worried about geese so much.
We're not worried about people with guns with their flying power.
I am. Well, they're like, oh, is that a fucking flying person?
Yeah, like, flying could be cool, but, like, you can also just, like, teleport.
Yeah, exactly. I mean... Flying's cool because you are flying, but yeah, like Nightcrawler, the ability to just like teleport. It's pretty good ability. Healing would be great too, but someone would exploit you, like what happens to Logan in X-Men.
Okay, here's a different question. If you had to choose to be one of the benders from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which bender would you be?
Waterbender.
You'd be a waterbender?
Waterbender is best bender.
That's a little controversial.
I disagree. They can bloodbend.
That's forbidden. Heal. You have to be like a top tier waterbender to heal. It's not just like every waterbender can heal.
I would be healing if I was a waterbending. Yeah.
I'd be an earthbender.
Yeah, I know.
Earthbenders are best bender. You can't just be like, yes, I know. I'm not just telling you. It's for the audience.
Yeah, well, we all know.
No, they don't know.
We can tell.
You're out of the podcast.
Waterbending's best bending. Because I'd be bloodbending Tyler right now. And it'd be pretty cool.
No, see, you have to have water around you. You have to carry around a thing of water with you.
I would. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, then like
it's like a water bottle.
If you run out, like that's it. You can't bend.
No.
You got nothing.
Your blood and your sweat.
No. Okay.
We see it over and over again. They use it. Earthbending's pretty cool too. I will say that. It is pretty cool.
Earthbending is very cool. Firebending's like the worst.
I agree.
Because like, you're just shooting fire. That's the whole... There's no like cool tricks or anything they really do. It's like...
Woo! Like the best is like the lasers.
Like the lightning?
The lightning, yeah. And...
We only ever see like one person do it.
Yeah, Azula.
And even then, it's basically just shooting energy. It's just fire more concentrated. It's just like, it's not versatile. You can't do much with firebending.
Do you think firebenders can also bend lava or only earthbenders?
I think only earthbenders.
Because it's like earth, but like...
because I think they're just like compressing the earth and it's like making it really hot and makes lava or something.
Makes sense.
I mean...
After Toph invents the metal bending, earthbending, like, it really goes up like a whole rank, but...
Yeah, like, earthbending is pretty badass.
Waterbending is still pretty cool. Being able to heal is just top tier.
Man, how good is that Avatar universe?
It's very good. Avatar: The Last Airbender is amazing. Legend of Korra is amazing. It's okay. I don't really like that Korra is victimized a lot.
Yeah.
Like, she's older than Aang, but, like, she's incapable of doing anything on her own.
She just gets fucked up so much throughout that show.
And it's just horrible stuff happens to her over and over again. And, like, Aang is a child, and way less stuff happens to him. And I don't know. I just don't think it's fair to Korra. She gets definitely the short end of the stick.
I think just like Korra was made for an older audience, so they were like kind of pushing the boundaries, like, oh, we're gonna be edgier and she's gonna get beat up way more. But like it's like she gets paralyzed at one point and she like loses her memory another time, and like
she like, oh, spoilers. She like loses her bending, and to me that is just like, that's almost worse if you're a bender than being paralyzed.
Like it's all bad. I mean, she like recovers from all these things eventually, but it's still just fucked up in the instance that it happens.
And the characters are just more likable in Avatar, except for, I
like Bolin.
Bolin is a good character.
I love Bolin.
And Asami's great too.
And like Tenzin, and
I really like that the continuity of the universe.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's great.
Seeing all of the characters from like The Last Airbender grown up and like their children is great. And like, I think that's really, it makes the show elevated, but it's just getting those points from the nostalgia points from The Last Airbender, so I don't know how I feel about it entirely, but Airbender is great. Avatar universe, solid world building. We'll say that.
All right, well, we're at about 40-ish minutes now, so we could probably end the podcast here. I feel like that's pretty good. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing today.
Tomorrow? You'll
Maybe
have something
tomorrow.
to say?
Maybe next episode I'll have a fun ending for you all.
Okay, you hear that?
Boop, boop, boop. Butts, farts.